Mashini Political Incorporated, I've tried to get hold of Dr. Ramphele's office. I got through. She said no, she doesn't do podcasts. Well, it's just one of those. But let me give you credit. You know, it's very difficult when we get these soft rejections. But I think credit to her. She said she doesn't do podcast, so I don't know how I'm going to feel. On such serious matters, I honestly hope I could get someone who speaks on authority, and I don't have to quote. And she spoke on the SABC, and I find it difficult because she spoke on the SABC to grab her quote and put it here. You see, this mainstream media now, they've taken a step not to be cozy with us, so they hate it when we take their clips. But I think I'll try maybe to put you where she is. But this is what she says. Dr. Ramphele, I think for those who don't know her, she's former president of Agang. Agang was a political party that came through. And for the young ones to know who Dr. Ramphele is, she came into the limelight before democracy because she's a freedom fighter. She was an ally of Steve Biko, and I'm deliberately not wanting to speak about her other links with Steve Biko that I know people always bully her about. So I'm taking a stance not to want to confirm it to her, just to acknowledge that yes, she was a Biko ally. But okay, the matter that I want to discuss is we've been asking for far too long, and this is the part that I say I wish we could have maybe, I could have a sit down with her. I'm trying to also reach out to Lukhanyo Calata. Lukhanyo is the son. He was 4 years old when his father from the Craddock 4 who were taken out by the apartheid police. They went to TRC, and when they got to the TRC, they could not get assistance. The reason they could not get assistance, of course, is the fact that the African National Congress is disingenuous when it comes to TRC. The African National Congress hates the TRC, and I don't want to say some in the ANC because they always tell us about the collective. What do they call it? Collective leadership. I'm not happy with the ANC, how they dealt with the TRC. The reason is it was a watered down project, so the spies inside the ANC and the spies outside the ANC, they collaborated with the Boers just to make sure that their identity remains hidden. And this is something I've been saying for the longest of time. And this is why I wish Ramphele could be here so we could talk to her, because she does highlight such. Am I disappointed that Dr. Ramphele does not want to talk to us new media, but she chose to speak to mainstream media about such topical issues? Yes, I am disappointed. But like I say, I give her credit for not dilly-dallying and being honest with me to say she does not want to come to the podcast. Hopefully, maybe she does not want to handle small podcasters. Maybe she'll go to a bigger podcast to go and explain this, because it's important for us African people so we could understand how this issue goes. She talks about Thabo Mbeki being the one who deliberately stopped this these TRC processes in terms of the reporting so they can go public. But she insists that Mandela liked it when Mandela was up for it. I don't know if she's doing it just because, you know, it's very difficult to be critical of Nelson Mandela. But what I want to say is, I don't know what Cyril Ramaphosa is trying to do. Is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? Lukhanyo Calata, who's the victim, he was 4 years old when his father was taken out. He seems to be happy with this process. Who am I to criticize this thing if I'm not involved? Will it produce results? I don't know. I don't know if it will produce results. But I honestly wish to sit with someone who can come and teach us what was this. And I'm even thinking Max Dupree, the seasoned journalist who covered a lot, who's done a lot of work on this TRC process. Mamphela, I also want to sit down with him. But this thing must be unpacked. It must be unpacked because people are hiding a lot of information through the TRC, and we know how it was formed, because they were saying people were afraid that their shenanigans would go out in the public and they will be prosecuted, and then they offered this as a, what do I call it? They offered it as a compromise. Pre or during Codesa, or maybe during the Grooteskier minutes, or during that negotiated settlement. But it was offered to say, let us water down all our things and we would come in. I've been in discussion with comrade fighter, comrade commander Kenny Motsamai about sitting down so we could talk about these things. So Kenny Motsamai, a person who was jailed for the longest of time for the crimes that he did, who were chiefly political, because he taken out the poor. You know, when they say do this to the poor, do this to the poor, he actually did it himself. And he was a member of parliament with the Economic Freedom Fighters, and he since joined Patriotic Alliance. He went from Patriotic Alliance and then he went to he's now MK. But we spoke, we had many times appointment that we're gonna sit down and talk about this. It's one of the people that I still need to sit down with. By the time we were arranging, we had appointments, he had to pull out, and I understood why he had to pull out. But like I said, I need to sit down with him so we can discuss and how should we go around this. Machine Political Incorrect, I don't have much to say on this because I'm actually waiting for these people to teach us more. I sat with Fred. Uncle Fred is that gentleman from Umkhonto Wesizwe, the real Umkhonto Wesizwe, who spoke very well of Jacob Zuma. He comes from Mamelodi. He's still there in Mamelodi. He promised will do a second take. He taught us a lot about freedom and freedom fighting, and he also spoke a lot about people who like Joe Modise and General Spiwe Nyamda and Mandela, of course, the people that he didn't like. But look, like I say, I'll find time. Let's sit with these people. Let's understand this TRC process. Machine Political Incorrect until the time we find it. So I think what I should do is please write down on the comments which questions should I pose. Whether I find Ramphele, I find Comrade Kenny Motsamai, I get Uncle Fred come back here, or I get Lukhanyo, Calata. Apologies for that. Whether I find any of those, please just write on the comments, write the questions that you think I should pose to them. Let's get this thing done. The TRC is a very important time of our history. But thank you very much. That's it.